I wonder 50 years from now what people will say was the piece of gear that someone got them that helped them to be inspired, to write new music, to play guitar, to jump into the guitar life. In 50 years, what gear will they talk about now? Because that's the thing all the time. Every time I go and buy old guitars, like I just got a 1914 Gibson L3. Go watch that video. It's really cool. Now, I got that, and what's so cool is that was a guitar that was bought by an uncle forever ago. And that's what I love when you think about the harmonies, the Ks, all of the guitars that inspired the heroes, the guitar players that we love and made us want to learn how to play music. All of that stuff was bought not necessarily, it wasn't necessarily the best stuff, but it was the stuff that people that cared about them could find. So that was the stuff sold by Montgomery Ward, or sold by Sears, or sold by Walmart even, or just sold in a store. And so for us, that store is Amazon. Lots of people are turning to Amazon looking for guitars and gear to give as gifts to people. So if, you know, if your nephew says they want to learn how to play guitar, you're going to go on and say electric guitar, and chances are one of the brands that's the most prevalent and prolific on Amazon is Donner. And I've had some stuff from Donner. It has all been fine. It's been okay. Over the last few weeks, Donner has sent me a ton of pedals and effects and a guitar, and they want to, I mean, they are trying, like Kia and Hyundai, they are transitioning from entry-level, really affordable products into, they want to be more luxury. They want to be taken more seriously. And so, let's have a full-blown Donner party. That's the plan here. Over the last few weeks, they've been sending me all this stuff, and I've assembled a pedal board in here. Let me open it up, and then I want to show you how I put this thing together and what I think it sounds like, and then I'll show you some sounds at the end. Because, I mean, there are some things that are definitely surprising on this pedal board. Oh, hey. Some Velcro came off. It's been a couple days since I opened this. But on this board, I have, let me see. Oh, that's crazy. I can look through it. Okay, so starting over here, I have a tuner, and then I have a volume pedal and a wah. I've never seen one that actually works like this. This is sometimes, when it's not turned on to wah mode, it works as a volume, which I think is really clever, and I really like. I love having a volume pedal on my board. Then you get into, I think it's the dark mouse. I literally have to look through. Can you see my eyes coming through there? So it's the dark mouse. So this is a rat copy. This is a good sounding little pedal. And then past that, there's a delay over here. What is this? This is the Donner. Oh, this is the Stylish Fuzz. It's a cool, you know, kind of big fuzzy thing. Then I thought that this was a distortion because it's yellow, but it's actually a delay coming up here. And then my signal path goes, how does it go? Goes over here. Up here to this multi-effects unit. And so this one has a drive, a chorus, and a delay. And so it's, I mean, it's a pretty clever little thing. And then we go into a reverb, which I'll warn you now, it's the worst pedal on here. Just not a good sounding reverb. Now the end is the Rev Echo, which I think this is the coolest looking pedal on the board. But as I look at this pedal, as I've used it, you know, well, hang on, you tell me. So here's some sound samples. Here's how it sounds. Here's me setting up this board. All right, so that is a Tone Master. This is a Rich Allen Telecaster. This is my no-caster. It is insane. If you want another one, you can buy this one back here for sale. Anyway, this is a video about Donner. We're having a Donner party today. Okay, so my first thoughts, that blue for the center is pretty dark. So I'm basically just like trying to get to where I don't have red lines because I can't see the blue. Now, one of the things I've noticed with this wah pedal is that it is also a volume pedal. If you push on it and you feel it click, so this is the guitar that they sent with me. And they're at NAMM right now, so their ambition, their goal, is that they would become a legitimate guitar brand. And it's an admirable goal. So let's see if we can help out. Listen how much volume difference there was between that Telecaster and this one. So I'm gonna scoot back just so you can see a little bit. Okay, so we've got the tuner, we've got the wah and volume pedal, which I still think the wah and wah The wah and volume pedal are clever. Now this, it's not as noisy. That's a fun heavy pedal. And so let's hear how it sounds on the single coils. That does a fun, like, squishy compress, that whoa, that kind of, I like that. Okay, dude, yeah, so the dark mouse, the rat pedal works. Sounds like a rat pedal. Now let's do the fuzz. Sounds very similar. More fuzz. More tone. Go to tune again. Sheesh, that's a noisy pedal too. Why? Why is that so noisy? Guitar's not staying in tune very well. Now this is, I mean, this guitar's been out for a couple weeks. I tuned this up maybe 2 weeks ago when I first got this guitar. And again, the pedal tuner, man, the blue is so dim that I'm just trying to find like a lack of red lights on either side. Okay, so when I first got this, I assumed Yellow Fall sounds like, looks like, I thought it was a DOD, like a 250, because that's a yellow. I thought it was that kind of pedal, but it's a delay pedal. So So it sounds like an analog delay. It gets a little darker as the repeats go on. You can control echo and time. So, yes, this must be, yeah, because get kind of back to what I think they would probably imagine more as just a really specific, like if your grandma's going to get you one effect, they're just going to get you, you know, this kind of 3 in a row, so the distortion. So, and the gain already turned up all the way. Okay, I mean, it just sounds like a pretty normal, like, distortion pedal kind of sound. Volume, gain, and tone. I mean, it gets, again, it's also still very noisy. All of these pedals are really noisy. All right, so now there's a chorus pedal. Let's get over here to this. It is a chorus. It does chorus things. Now delay. All right, so that's a digital delay. So that is interesting and different, where the Yellow Fall is definitely like an analog, like they get a little darker. This one just continues to be as clean, just copied and pasted. go to a delay pedal. So that is the first mode. That was the hall. First one is, it's hard to see, room. So this is just a room reverb. And so let's see if we can turn up the decay. Okay. There's not a whole lot of space there. It's pretty... It just doesn't have a ton. So now there's the church reverb. And spring. I mean, that's with the delay. I mean, all of these, there's just not enough. It's all too close. You're in too small of a room. It doesn't live on after you hit notes. And what is this one? Mods. This has some modulation. Okay, so it sounds like it has a chorus with it. That's by far the worst pedal of the, I mean, it's not noisy like the other ones are noisy, but they actually sound cool when they're on. I don't know, but yeah, the reverb, none of them sound good. None of them I would want to use regularly. So, okay, now let's go to the Rev Echo. And the Rev Echo it's a reverb and an echo put together. This could be a fun pedal, especially if you're really just starting to kind of... So already that's a better reverb. If you just want to, a friend of mine calls it just throwing footballs, like when you're playing in praise and worship, and somebody plays like, there's an acoustic guitar, and then you can just... So there's reverb on half. And I could use the volume pedal. But, okay, so that's an interesting, like, and there are trails. Okay, that pedal is the only one that I really think is, like, cool and worth it so far. So, let's land the plane. This was, hopefully this wasn't a long video, but Donner Party, are the Donner guitars good? Okay, let's start with the guitar. The guitar is okay. This is, it's Squier Affinity territory. This is, like... maybe Starcaster right around there. And I think this guitar is like 199 bucks. They spend the money on the finish. The pickups don't sound great. The guitar doesn't play that well. I mean, it's fine. Like, this would be a fine guitar for, you know, a 14-year-old. It probably would come without needing much of a setup. But it's a little risky, little dangerous. But... so then we move to the pedals. Now the pedals, the pedal board, and the power supply. First of all, the power supply is noisy. I thought it was a good deal, and then as I listen to this, I'm going to take it apart and try this power supply on other pedals, just better pedals and stuff that I'm used to using. I'll run through real quick. The tuner pedal, the blue lights that tell you you're in tune are very dim. It's really hard to see if they're right, so you find yourself just trying to get to where you don't see a red line on either side. But it's okay, not great. The volume pedal, is so small that unless you have really small feet, it's just hard to use. There's also not enough resistance on it, so you kind of find yourself, like, I feel myself being a little shaky when I'm using it. And so maybe if I was standing up, that would be different to get my feet to where I could go back and forth. The dark mouse sounds awesome. It's super fuzzy, super grungy. I can see that being a fun pedal. Now, I wonder with the different power supply, it's so noisy, but I have to suspect that it's probably the power supply making it that noisy. But for a Rat reissue for like 30, 40 bucks, you can't really go wrong with these. They're pretty fun. Now the fuzz to me is fine. It sounds like the Rat, but it's not as usable. It's a little too smooshy. Like it does that like where the low end just seems to like eat all of the other guitar signal. The yellow fall is actually cool. It's a cool analog delay. I would be happy with that thing. And it has a surprisingly, you can tell it's a long analog delay. It's probably 1 or maybe 2 chips. I'm speaking out of pocket on that. I just know it from hanging out with Zach Broyles from Mythos so much. But this one's fine. It's a good pedal. The 3 effects, that would be a fun one, especially if you're just getting into effects and you just want, like, without getting a multi-effect that has 99 presets and 1,000 different sounds. This is like, okay, I can understand signal path and what pedals do and how they work together. It's easy to power. It's a good size. That would be a fun one just for anybody. The reverb pedal is genuinely bad. It just doesn't sound good. None of the positions sound good. So that one's not worth buying. And then the Rev Echo is by far the coolest pedal and the best pedal on this board. Is one I might actually keep because it does what you would want it to do. Maybe I've been thinking about setting up a little pedal board for just people that come into the church that I play in, because most acoustic guitar players, they learn how to play so that they can play in church. And so with this, they just need the ability to mute themselves so that the sound person doesn't have to turn the channel off. Just be able to mute and then do some cool stuff. So if you can be in tune, add a little bit of reverb, add a little bit of chorus. Actually, this wouldn't be chorus, this would be delay. But anyway, so all in, I feel like we're in a better place if grandmas, grandpas, uncles, aunts, if they're buying stuff for you these days, which is exciting. I mean, to get this quality of guitar 20 years ago would have been way more, would have been $300 or $400. So anyway, I think they're doing it. I think Donner is coming into a legitimate place, I think. There you go. That's the best advice I'll give you. So anyway, thanks for watching this video. I'm Jeremy. I'm the Guitar Hunter. This has been a 2-hour-long video on Donner effects and guitars. So anyway, see you guys later. Thanks for watching. Bye.